Hey, welcome back to the Big Rant Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, please hit the subscribe button down below, and let's get right to it. Thank you to everybody that's been watching. I know I've got a few new subscribers, only about 2 or 3, but thank y'all for joining us here at the Big Rant Show. It's a really big help. We're up to 82 subscribers now here at the Big Rant Show, and thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Let's push this up to at least over 100 subscribers by the end of April. It'd be really helpful to see that happen. I would love it to be up to 1,000. I think that'd be very, very cool to have 1,000 subscribers. So please, if you're seeing these videos and you like what you're seeing, please let your friends know. Share the videos on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and everywhere else that you can share the videos. Just let everyone know that this is here, that I'm trying to bring the most accurate information I can, and trying to get away from the spin of the mainstream media. Now, speaking of the mainstream media, let's get right to it. Have you ever noticed that after every tragic event where there's a shooting or a bombing or anything like that here in the U.S., the mainstream media plasters the suspect's face and name all over television? Is that not annoying? Not only is it an insult to the families of the victims to have to hear this person's name over and over again and see his face over and over and over again, it also creates copycats. One issue is is creating copycats. One, people see it. These people see it and they think, oh, I can get some notoriety even if I'm dead. So I'll go ahead and do this. That way people, I'll get my 15 minutes of fame. That's why a lot of these people are out there, they're already screwed up in the head, and they see this and they think, oh, well, hey, I can get some recognition. People will know who I am now. So that needs to stop. We need to stop incentivizing these things. You may not, a sane person might not think, hey, this is a great idea. I'll get all famous after I'm dead. A sane person doesn't really think like that. But if people are messed up in the head already, what's to say that this doesn't set them off and doesn't give them the idea that, hey, I can be a big shot. People will know my name. I know a few weeks ago I accidentally let the name of the Parkland shooter slip. I did my best to try to cover it in editing, but I didn't really do a very good job. And so I'm doing my best to keep their names off my screen. Secondly, the mainstream media does this because it sells, because it makes money. Their whole concept, if it bleeds, it leads. And these murderers, their names seem to sell. They get people to tune in. If you see on Twitter, or Facebook, where somebody says shooter such and such, was in court, and it gives their name, people click on it. And so I have an idea on a few words you could use for the mainstream media to keep these people's names off the screen and out of their mouths. There's no reason to sit there and talk about the person by name. There's no reason to plaster their name everywhere and make them famous. So here's a few. Alleged shooter. Alleged bomber. Suspect. Suspected shooter. Suspected bomber. Asshole. Asshole with a gun. Asshole with a bomb. You following? Jerk. Son of a bitch. Piece of shit. Shithole. Are these some names that we could use? I mean, obviously, language isn't an issue. Our own president's using these kind of words on a daily basis with people. So, and the word shithole was plastered all over the mainstream media. I even mentioned it here. I thought it was a funny word. Used in a terrible way, but a funny word. So, these are ideas names you could use. You can list some more in the comments down below if you would like. Let me know what other names we could name these suspects instead of using their names. These people don't deserve our time. They don't deserve to have their names plastered everywhere. They deserve to be ignored. They deserve to drift off into the nether, as it were, and never be heard from and never hear their names again. Now, speaking of these kind of events, down in Austin since March 2nd, they've been dealing with a serial bomber. And apparently yesterday, a bomb went off at a factory, or not a factory, but at a FedEx facility down close between Austin and San Antonio. They apparently gave a clue as to this person and who he was, and the fact that, you know, they found out that apparently that he was kind of an expert at bomb making and such. And apparently this morning, as of about 3 o'clock this morning, that suspect is dead, apparently detonating a device within his car when police tried to close in on him. I don't have a name. You wouldn't get a name from me anyway. So as we're going to refer to this guy as asshole with a bomb, killed multiple people, injured others, and I'm actually glad that it's ended. Now, they don't know if he has other bombs, you know, out and about that have already been packed, that have been sent out. So people in Austin, Texas, and in the surrounding areas, be careful. Be mindful of what's going on. If you didn't order a package from anywhere, don't open anything. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. If you come up on a package, be careful, because I did have one that he set up that was set off by tripwire. So do be careful. Now, there was another bombing late last evening, where an incendiary device was used, where they initially said that it was not tied. They didn't think it was tied to the other bomber, but I believe that they have since changed that. So there's that. So obviously, the authorities down in Austin have taken care of the threat of the bomber, at least as him existing, as it were. The man apparently took his own life. Police didn't kill him. I wouldn't have been surprised, though, if they had. But apparently, he blew himself up. And all I can say about it is, now here in Texas, we're not going to have to deal with paying for his trial. We're not going to have to pay for his stay in jail. And we're not going to have to pay for his lethal injection. He took care of that for us. We don't have to pay for it now. Because here in Texas, I guarantee you, with the things he had done, the people he had killed, that he would have faced the death penalty. So anyhow, people in Austin can at least sigh a small sigh of relief anyway, until we find out whether or not he had sent out other packages or not. People can't be completely sure. But anyhow, that's what happened down in Austin. Lastly, another shooting incident took place, and this is why I got pissed off about their names being plastered everywhere. Is within an hour or so of this shooting, and police giving the name, it was all over the place. Plaster from Fox News to CBS to MSNBC, all over the dang place. So first off, to the police, I would say stop releasing these names. I don't care who they are. Their names don't deserve to be released. They do not deserve to be made famous after the fact, after what they've done. Okay? Let's just not do that anymore. We should stop with that. But second, there's a school resource officer. I do not have his name as of right now. I haven't seen a whole lot of stories about it. But there was a press conference saying that a school resource officer in Maryland was the one that brought the shooting yesterday to an end. As soon as I have a name, I'll make a full video on the school resource officer who actually ran to the gunfire, unlike the cowards that we had in Parkland, who showed up when a 14-year-old decided he was going to shoot some girl and some boy or whatever over some bullshit. And instead of running away and cowering and letting this guy take out more people, he showed up and he confronted the shooter, and the shooter is deceased. Now, some people are going to say, "Well, you shouldn't have killed him." He tried to kill other people. He had a firearm and he was shooting at other students. I'm sorry, if a police officer walks up on you shooting somebody, they should shoot you. To me, that's a justified shooting by the police officer. So anybody wants to sit there and hate on the school resource officer for using his firearm to protect other students, they can bite me. He saved other lives. I guarantee you that kid that had that gun didn't show up there just to shoot a few people. He could have been very well ready to shoot other people that were around. The school shootings and the school violence has got to stop. We've got to stop these people from having these weapons. I don't know what kind of weapon this kid used, but if you're under 18, you shouldn't have such easy access to firearms. You just shouldn't. Maybe that's just my opinion. You know, if you're with your parents, it's a different story. They're teaching you how to shoot. That's cool. I have 2 nieces. My brother teaches them to shoot all the time because, you know, they do need to know how to protect themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's a long-standing thing, and you know, my family has had a lot of history of, you know, passing gun knowledge and guns down through the generations. I'm not really part of that because I'm not a big fan of guns, but my mom did teach me she taught me how to shoot. She taught me, you know, how to respect guns and how not to use them, you know, not to use them improperly, and to use them for hunting and self-protection. You know, that's what I was taught. Now, I didn't really follow any of that because I have some major temper issues at times, and obviously having big temper issues, I probably shouldn't have a firearm on me. Probably not a great idea. But you never know what could happen in the future. If I ever felt like I needed something for protection, then by George, I would probably go off and buy a handgun of some sort if I could lift it. But the school resource officer got into the line of fire. You know, he could have been shot by the student that had this gun, and instead he engaged the student, who obviously was obviously a threat to other students, and he ended the threat. Now, I feel bad for the family of everyone involved. I feel bad for even the family of the shooter, because I guarantee you they didn't send their kid to school that day thinking he was going to shoot anybody. All they know is now they're without their son. And so I don't know about the status of the victims either. Last I read, they were both in the hospital, but both okay, and with non-life-threatening injuries. That could change, because I just heard a preliminary report, and then I was busy doing other stuff yesterday afternoon. So once I have more information on the shooting, I'll bring it to you probably by Saturday. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Thanks for the new subscribers, and I'll see you down the road.